versus NoTidehunter. This is the first game for that I've gotten to cast that's Captain's Mode, so we will see the banning and picking phase. This is game 4 of the Defense 3. It's still the group stage. I did find out this is a round-robin group stage. It's not single elimination, so all of these teams we've seen before we will be seeing again. To get to the first bans, so NoTidehunter has the first ban. They've banned out a Batrider. It's a really strong pick if you want to send in mid or into the off lane. He's a very strong lane. And if you're not going to pick him up early, you do want to go ahead and ban him out. NoTidehunter does have the first pick. That's why they're going to ban him. They most likely do not need him. They're not going to try and pick him. They're not going to use their first pick. And they don't want to risk playing against him and the Svenhunter picking him up. On the Svenhunter team, you actually see a Magnus ban out. And the reasoning for this, they know that NoTidehunter has first pick. They don't want Magnus to be that first pick. They know he's first pick worthy. And his 4-second stun that goes through BKB is a really strong team fighting tool. They don't want to risk going up against it, so they're going to go ahead and knock him out of the pool. You do have a Wisp ban from NoTidehunter. In the last game, I believe, we saw the power of Wisp and how he allows heroes that normally rely on positioning to be able to compensate for that simply by having a Wisp with him. He's a very strong hero, and again, he's not going to be the NoTidehunter first pick, and they don't want to risk playing against him, so they're just going to go ahead and ban him out. Svenhunter, again with the Bounty Hunter ban, you see a strong offlane hero whose track gold allows a team that is struggling in the mid-game to easily come back and catch up in gold. The bonus from track gold's pretty immense in team fights. You'll easily see at level 1 track, you'll see 200 gold just for all the teammates, plus another 150 for Bounty Hunter, assuming everybody's there. NoTidehunter has started out with an Undying first pick. We don't know yet whether they're going to run him in a solo lane or support. Undying's very strong in both situations. It really is going to depend, I guess, on which hero or which player picks up Undying as the hero. You do actually see Undying in tri-lanes as well, tri-laning around an Undying and letting him farm. So they haven't given away anything with his first Undying pick, and it'll be interesting to see what Svenhunter picks up early on, and they should be picking soon. We have a Templar Assassin and a Chen. So where NoTidehunter hasn't given away anything with their first pick, Svenhunter has given away a lot with theirs. Templar Assassin most often is seen in the mid position. There is a very rare occasion where you will see a Templar Assassin in the carry lane farming, but I doubt we will see that in this. We do have a Chen in the jungle, so with a Chen we will most likely see a safe lane carry. Generally you pick up the Enchantress for the more aggressive tri-lane. Chen's more of a passive tri-lane jungler, although he can be used in an aggressive tri-lane. Chen's biggest problem in an aggressive tri-lane is he's very easy to harass out of the jungle, whereas Enchantress is a little more stout. Chen's more mana and creep dependent. One of the negative side effects of taking over a creep and it being permanent, they've made it have a substantial mana cost, and so Chen commits most of his mana to taking over that creep. He wants to keep it alive because he does have mana issues if he's not able to. On NoTidehunter side, we do have a Lone Druid and a Darkseer pickup at this point. Sticking with the sentiments from their first pick, they have not given away any of their lanes. Lone Druid would be comfortable in a carry lane, in a solo lane, or in the mid position. We have seen all three previously, not in this tournament, but in competitive play. Lone Druid's pretty much comfortable in any lane. His bear makes him just have an easy time no matter what the circumstances are he faces. And then we do have a Darkseer who would be able to offlane. He'd be able to, you can actually tri-lane around a Darkseer. It's not something that's done often, but it does work out pretty well. And then of course he could go mid. So we'll see what NoTidehunter decides to do. And the last pick on Svenhunter's side was Luna. So they've completely given away their starting lineup. Luna will be taking their carry lane with the Chen supporting him. They do need one more support for that tri-lane. They are going to tri-lane around the Luna with a jungler, so you need at least a support in the lane with Luna. She doesn't have lane control to solo. So we're looking at another support and then an off lane for Svenhunters that are yet to be picked up. And seeing this, NoTidehunter has decided to ban out Broodmother. They said, you know what, they have a Chin, they have a Luna that's very strong push potential in their safe lane. We don't want the split push to be an option for them. Broodmother's a very strong split push. If NoTidehunter had to adjust down to the bottom lane for them to block the Luna from pushing, Broodmother could easily take out 2 towers in a very fast manner. And you see a Nature's Prophet for the same reasons. He can just push that lane out pretty hard as soon as they leave the lane, and they don't want to deal with that, so they're going to go ahead and ban out the split push from Nature's Prophet. You do have a Gyrocopter ban out from NoTidehunter, which indicate, from Svenhunters, which indicate they expect NoTidehunter to be running a support Undying. They're expecting Gyrocopter to be tri-laned around, and an aggressive tri-lane, which we would leave Darkseer and Lone Druid in the 2 solo lanes, top and mid. Let's see what their next ban comes out. Maybe we can get a little more grasp of what they're expecting from this Undying lineup.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Going into the reserve time. They should ban shortly. We do have a Tinker ban out, which indicates they think that they might be tri-laning around the Lone Druid as well, and perhaps ban out the Tinker mid. One reason you'd ban out the Tinker mid is for Templar Assassin. She has a rough time going up against the Tinker if he maxes March of the Machines. A big skill for Templar Assassin that she's balanced around is her refraction. If you pick a hero that can take away her refraction, then she has a very difficult time going mid. And you do see an Enigma. Following the same reasoning as Nature's Prophet and Broodmother, Enigma is a very strong split push that would just cause them all sorts of trouble if they allowed Enigma to be picked up. You can sit Enigma in the top lane. He is a very good solo off lane because he can deny 1 creep every time he summons his demonic conversions and then farm with the demonics. A big issue with running Enigma in the off lane is mana, but once you're able to pick up Soul Ring, that's no longer an issue. And we do have a Rubik ban out, so it looks like they're still thinking of the Lone Druid as the carry, and they are banning out mids. So one interesting thing to note, they've picked up Jakiro now as the support. The Jakiro, Darkseer, and Undying all have a very easy time removing refraction. Undying's Tombstone is very strong against the Templar Assassin. Those zombies constantly hitting at her. It's basically like having creep waves hitting on her. It just removes refraction very fast. As fast as she can summon it, it's going to be beat down. Jakiro, with 1 level in Liquid Fire, is going to do 5 ticks, and then she has 6 at max level, so that's going to remove it just with 1 auto attack and the 5 ticks from 1 level of Liquid Fire. Darkseer with his Ion Shell, and then of course Lone Druid with his Bear. Between Lone Druid and his Bear, they remove refraction pretty fast as well. We do have a Jakiro with an Undying. Undying makes for a very aggressive lane, regardless of whether they run him in the farming position or in the support position, due to his Tombstone allowing early dives on the tower. So it will be interesting to see if they do send their tri-lane to the bot lane, which is what I expect. One reason they need to do this is because you do have a Luna. She's very farm dependent, and a Luna with her early Helm of the Dominator can quickly take advantage of her lane and both the jungle nearby, and you'll see her both with stacked camps just start racking up the gold very fast. You don't want that to happen, so you need to quickly address the Luna and shut her out. If they can zone Luna out, it makes their game 10 times easier. You do see a Clockwork pickup, so it does look like we have our offlaner for the Svenhunters, so they do need to pick up their second support now. Clockwork's pretty strong in the offlane simply because he has 5-second cogs, which are a pretty good escape mechanism, as well as the early strength of Battery Assault. So if he can get those early levels and roam around with his ultimate and Battery Assault and cogs, he makes for a very strong gank in the mid game. and it allows for some really good trap out of any heroes that find themselves solo. And we do have a Shadow Demon, so it looks like our aggressive tri-lane will have Shadow Demon and Jakiro as the supports.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm unsure whether they'll try around the Undying or around the Lone
5
Druid
seconds remaining.
at this point. But either way, you are going to have an aggressive tri-lane in the bottom lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Shadow Demon's a very aggressive early game hero, mainly with 1 level of disruption, and then as soon as he starts getting levels in the Soul Catcher. And we do have the support pickup. Again, it leads towards a very passive tri-lane for the Svenhunters, and by passive I mean they're in the bottom lane in the safe lane, as opposed to the aggressive tri-lane where you lane in your suicide lane rather than sending a solo hero down to there. So we do have the Crystal Maiden pickup, and as soon as we get in game I will pause it and go over who's on what hero, and we will start going over what lanes they pick and why they're doing what they're doing. Although I covered a good bit of it, I think I've covered most of what their lanes will be. We still don't know whether Undying or Lone Druid will be in the bottom lane, or even possibly Darkseer, but I don't expect the Darkseer. And then, even at that point, once they've decided between Undying and Lone Druid, if it's Lone Druid in the tri-lane, Darkseer will definitely be mid and Undying will be top. But if it's Undying in the bottom lane, then Lone Druid and Darkseer both can go mid or top. It'll be whatever they choose. So we need 2 more picks. We do have a smoke. It looks like for an early 5-man roll. And we have our last pick. Let me wait for them to unpause the game real quick and get it on free camera, just so this pause isn't in the way. Okay, so on the NoTidehunter side, we do have Aki on the Jakiro. Admiral Bulldog is on the Lone Druid. Loda is on the Undying. S4 is on the Darkseer. And Eternal Envy is on the Shadow Demon. It looks like they will be sending the Undying into the long lane. I believe Loda is their carry player. So it looks like they will be tri-laning around the Undying. We have Wern on the Svenhunter side on the Clockwork. We have Blueberry Ninja on the Crystal Maiden. Audio Dota on the Luna. CHW Dota on the Templar Assassin, and Quicks on the Chin. And as I said, they should be tri-laning around the Luna in the bottom lane so that she can get some jungle farm as well. And then we should see the Clockwork go on the top lane and Templar Assassin mid. So we're still waiting to find out whether Darkseer will be mid or top, or Lone Druid will be mid or top. It's not really clear at this point, simply because either one, they might mid Darkseer as a counter to the Templar Assassin, but then Lone Druid wouldn't have any trouble with the Templar Assassin, where Darkseer is going to eat some heavy harass from her early on. And she can kind of stay out of the Ion Shell a little bit. So I'm going to resume the game now, and we'll see where this 5-man smoke game takes us. One thing to notice, so we have S4. Okay, so Shadow Demon has front-loaded the wards, 150 gold, 350, 500. So it looks like Shadow Demon may have bought an extra set of items for somebody else, as well as you don't have the full amount of gold from the Jakiro. So somebody else has ended up with an extra Tango. Let's see, 250, 300, 350, 450, 530, 680, 580.
30 seconds to battle.
It may be on the Darkseer. Okay, so what's happened? We have an extra set of Tangos that one of the supports bought on the Darkseer. Darkseer is going to be going mid. He's got 444 gold saved up for a very early bottle. And he'll probably use that to regen. I said he'll be eating some early harass from the Templar Assassin. His support's buying them that extra Tango where he can start out with 3 Iron Branches and nothing else. Allows him to eat that harass and hopefully get his bottle where he can regen through the harass and not worry about the Templar Assassin in lane. We do have the long lane Undying. He will be in the farm position. That's being played by Loda. He does have Decay first. Decay is a very strong early game skill. 4 Strength still is basically a bracer difference between you and your enemy. It allows for not only Loda to increase its HP by 100, but it basically decreases the enemy's HP by 100 right off the bat. So 400 HP on a Luna with Loda diving her. Okay, so what's just happened here, Loda walked in and pulled the lane. Now, the reason he's doing this, he's forcing Luna's lane to get killed by the tower. His creeps are all getting targeted by the tower right now. So, now that his creeps have been killed by the tower, Luna has 2 waves of creeps coming into this lane to fight Loda's creeps. What this means is that Loda's going to have the lane pushed to his tower at the very first creep wave, and he's going to have free farm, while Luna is effectively zoned back down to her tower. She really can't enter the lane at this point without being under threat from the NoTidehunter's tri-lane, and it looks like she's kind of frustrated about that. She wants to get in experience range, at least get some experience, but an excellent job by them to zone out the lane and force it back up to Loda's tower for Loda's safe farming. And as you can see, they have a whole extra creep wave at this point. So it's 1 creep wave to 1 creep wave and a whole extra one coming in from the Svenhunters side, simply because of what Loda did. The reason he could do this at level 1, you don't want to try this on every hero. Undying, with that decay ability, would be able to survive if they tried to gank him. All he would have to do is decay the enemy heroes, gain that extra experience. Something Loda's doing very well right now, he's tanking a little bit of creep damage to keep the creeps from getting in tower range, because if he does allow these creeps to get back in tower range, it is going to push back out. So he'd rather take a few hits. Ooh, and we do have a Luna playing very aggressively. Her supports are not nearby. It looks like Crystal Maiden's all the way down here checking the pull camp. And we do have Jakiro with a starting stun. This probably costs Luna her life. As I said, if you can see, her max health is 400. He just took it down with a second decay. It's on a 8-second cooldown right now at level 2. So she had 300 HP within 8 seconds. Between Jakiro's stun and then 2 auto attacks, she was dead. That's all it took to kill her. And that's the power of early decay. So we do see Crystal Maiden at this point. She's like, you know what? They've blocked my pull camp, and I can't pull from it. So instead of trying to lane with the Luna and pull, I'm going to go jungle a little bit with the Chin. It does look like they're smoked up to rotate top. One reason they'll do this, there is a Shadow Demon roaming as well as a Jakiro. As I said, Chin's very susceptible to harass, so they're probably going to abandon this woods to avoid the Shadow Demon altogether and get up in the enemy jungle, get Crystal Maiden and Chin some farm and some levels, and then probably go for an early push from top tower instead of bottom tower. And this is all due just so that Chin can avoid the early Shadow Demon harass. Shadow Demon has an easy time of harassing Chin down in the jungle. So we do see an early push and an early kill on the Lone Druid. That was the power of level 1 cogs that I was talking about. Clockwork's level 1 cogs last 5 seconds. A 5-second hold is generally something that a max skill would do, but Clockwork received recent buffs where his cogs are one of the most powerful holds in the game. It's not a disable, but if you can trap somebody inside it, 5 seconds is an unbearably long time to be enduring a gank. So between Chin creeps and Crystal Maiden being here for support, it was an easy kill for the Clockwork, and they probably will push this tower down. Although we do have Undying in the bottom lane, he has cast his Tombstone. I was talking about the early push power of Tombstone. It does summon Zombie for all the creeps, which helps hold the creep wave back where Undying can farm it off. And this allows for very early pushes from the Undying. So we'll see which tower goes down first. Looks like bottom tower will be going down first. Undying with the last hit on that. So both teams have adjusted. We do have Luna not having the best of anything right now. She is trying to jungle the small camp. We might see her rotate to the top lane and Clockwork come bottom at some point, just because she's really not going to get much down here trying to jungle. Shadow Demon did something very smart. He realized that Luna's rotated to the jungle, and he's gone and rotated a safe camp over here. So normally Luna would rotate between this camp and this camp to avoid going over here where the Jakiro and Shadow Demon are roaming. So Shadow Demon warded right here. She now can't ward right here. She can ward here. She can roam here. And as you just saw, Jakiro stood down here and blocked the camp from spawning. So this effectively continues zoning out the Luna. She either has to go in lane or she has to risk going over here and getting ganked by Jakiro and Shadow Demon. And you do have pulls by the Shadow Demon at this point to keep the lane from pushing to the tower where Luna will be safe. Is keeping their lane right here. Is pulling the enemy lane out to here where Loda can free farm it, still in a position like there was still a tower here. While Luna is just sitting here at the tower waiting for a creep wave to do anything, and she's not going to receive it. So Luna's not having a good time. She's really being zoned out. As you can see, she can't really go past here without dying. We do have S4 rotating down. Looks like Chin and Crystal Maiden. So we are going to have a kill on the Darkseer, but Chin and Crystal Maiden are doing what they can. They went to the top lane, to the top jungle, where they could be uncontested and get some levels. Crystal Maiden, now that she's level 3, she's returned, and now she's going to look and see what she can do for the Luna, as well as the Chin. Although Chin's out of mana. This is what I was talking about, the mana issues for Chin. When he's going through creeps, and when he's actually being active, he burns his mana very fast. Unlike an Enchantress who can sit in the jungle, and she really doesn't have any mana issues at all the entire time she's jungling. So we are going to see Crystal Maiden and Chin rotate back down here, ready to support the Luna now that they've got a few levels. They think they can contest the Undying and Jakiro and Shadow Demon. So we're going to see if this works out for them. Luna does have Tranquil Boots now, so at least she can take some harass and stay in lane. And another big thing about picking Tranquil Boots on a carry like Luna, Tranquil Boots are basically healing you like a salve would, only they are not broken like creeps. It heals more than a salve, but she can sit there and auto-attack creeps in the jungle with her Tranquil Boots running. We do see Darkseer rotating down. They've realized, you know what, our Luna's not being zoned out at this point. Perhaps we need a little bit extra, but it does look like he's not going to see any opportunity to jump in, and he's just going to back out for now. So he is rotating up back to defend his mid tower. Chin did no, it was actually the Clockwork. Clockwork did a good job of applying pressure there. It'll be interesting to see if he can ultimate in and perhaps do a turnaround for the Luna, because if she can get a kill on one of these supports, that'll be a big boost in experience that she needs to get back in the game. Right now she's level 3, well she's about to be level 4, but a kill on a support that's the same level as her will almost give her a whole level, as well as a kill on the Undying will definitely give her a level. And if she can get to level 6, then she can at least start participating in team fights, and they can start playing as a team, and maybe she can get some ultimates off and get some kills. So we do have all 5 people from the Radiant side rotated down in their jungle, and now Luna's feeling a little bit safer. She's out here farming some creeps, so we'll see where this takes her, but she is only at 13 creep kills at 8 minutes, so this isn't the best time for Luna. So, but she can easily catch up if we can get some stacked camps like we have right here, as well as just an opening in our jungle. So Shadow Demon's abandoning bottom lane. They said, you know what, our work in bottom lane's done. Lone Druid's farming top. He does have his Midas on the way. Does he already have the hand? He does not have the hand. He's waiting on that. So he's actually 140 gold away from his Midas. We do have Clockwork, Crystal Maiden, and Chin rotating up into the Dire jungle, realizing, you know what, they've left our jungle. We're going to rotate top, see if we can catch them in their jungle. They were successful in that. And this is part of the early decay strength I was talking about in Undying. So Undying should have died there, but he went from 700 HP to 1000 HP simply by using decay. And we're waiting for 2 of his stick charges, at which case he'll be able to decay again. Although it does look like he's going to get away from this Clockwork. So there's the decay. And Clockwork with the maxed Battery Assault is doing a lot of damage. Shadow Demon does a big save for the Undying though, by placing him inside the Disruption. Undying did have to turn around and man up to try and help get the kill on the Darkseer, which I'm sorry, not the Darkseer. I missed which one they were going on. I did see the Darkseer running away low HP. But he did turn around with the Decay to stay in the team fight. He was doing a big man up. He said, you know what, I have one more Decay, let's stay in and fight. And Shadow Demon did have to turn around and save him at this point. The power of Battery Assault on Clockwork, if you look at Battery Assault, it does 75 damage a second on 0.7 intervals for 10.5 seconds. So basically every 2 seconds it happens 3 times. So 5 times 3 is 15 times, 75.
Dire's middle tower is under
That's basically 1,000 damage. So if you catch somebody along with battery assault, you're going to do 1,000 damage to him. It's kind of like Leshrak's Edict, only on a really short range around the Clockwork. And this means that if Clockwork can catch people out solo and get his ultimate off, cog them in for 5 seconds, and get battery assault, the mini stun and the damage is pretty much a free kill early game on any hero. As you can see, Lone Druid only has 1400 HP. If 1,000 of it's taken away from battery assault, and then the ult does, I believe, it's 100 damage at level 1, so that's 1100 damage, and his level 1 rocket's 80 plus any auto attacks he does. 5 seconds of cog is 5 auto attacks. So we'll see it right here on the Darkseer. The Darkseer has 900 HP. The creeps are taking a lot of this damage, and we will see the Clockwork die. So Darkseer, knowing he's within the creep wave, mans up, ignores the battery assault, and that's part of the thing I was talking about. You have to catch a hero solo. He did catch the Darkseer with a whole creep wave nearby. That wasn't the best positioning. If he had been able to catch Lone Druid out, Lone Druid may have been able to bring in the bear and mitigate some of the damage. But if he catches Lone Druid solo, it probably would solo kill the Lone Druid between auto attacks and battery assault. Let's check back up on our Luna. She does have 36 creep kills now, so she is recovered up to almost 4 creep kills a minute. She's trying to catch back up. She was sitting at a little under 2, so she's doing very well for herself now that they've gotten a little pressure off of her. And Undying, realizing this, has rotated back to the bottom lane to resume farming. You do have Jakiro and Shadow Demon sitting in the jungle with him. It looks like they may be stacking these camps, which is interesting. They will probably be farming them together. I doubt they'd just stack them and leave him. Undying might actually come farm these camps. So it'll be interesting to see whether the supports are stacking them to farm themselves, or if they're stacking them for Undying. It's a very risky proposition either way, because if they are forced out of the jungle by this Chin and Crystal Maiden, who do have some very good strength now that they've got some levels, then this is some free farm for Luna. We have Darkseer roaming down. It looks like Darkseer is going to take these stacks for them. Yes, they're going to farm with the Darkseer. It's very good for them to go ahead and kill these stacks. It'll get their supports some levels. They are sitting around to get the levels while Darkseer gets the gold. He kills these very fast. And so yes, we have Darkseer finishing off all these camps. And it's good that they went ahead and finished these off, because as I said, the longer those sat there, it was a big risk for the Luna. Something's wrong with Undying's head. I don't believe he normally looks like this. But it is really risky to leave stacks sitting in the enemy's jungle for a Luna to pick up. If she had been able to farm 3 triple stacks, she would have easily been caught back up in items, and she does have the ability to farm those with her Tranquil Boots. So she does go opt for a drum first. One reason she would pick up this drum first is kind of an alternative. Since she has lack of farm, she has to look at smaller items to get the same benefits. It gives her the move speed benefit that a Manta would for a lot less of the cost. Is 1700 gold instead of, what is it, 2100, 2100, and 900 I believe for Manta. So 5k gold pretty much for a Manta. I guess I can look and give you the exact amount. Manta. Yeah, 5050 gold. So right under 5k gold. So our Lone Druid is actually on a killing spree. It looks like he actually picked off the Crystal Maiden roaming in their jungle. So she may have been a bit aggressive, because I don't believe the Chin was with her. Unless they killed both. No, I believe the Chin was still in his jungle. So she may have been trying to ward and get some vision up for her team. Whatever the case, she was called out. But you do have the drum pickup. It's a low gold cost for the move speed benefit that Luna needs. It's just to get her by, since she's lacking farm. She can't commit to the big items. Manta would take way too long for her to farm. She may farm it later and sell the drum. And I think she probably still needs to pick up her Helm of the Dominator, although she may have picked up the Tranquil Boots to compensate for that. And she might decide to go into something else, just go straight up damage items at this point. It'll be interesting to see how she chooses to build her hero. She does have a level in Moonglaive at this point. The level in Moonglaive is what she's going to need to farm the jungle. As you can see, the bounce helps her clear out jungle camps pretty fast. And the Tranquil Boots, she can pop these at any point. As you see, the Tranquil Boots is regenerating 17 HP per second, and it's not broken by the creep's attack like a salve is. At this point, you do have 4-man mid with chin creeps. We are going to see a push middle in the mid tower. A very good clockwork ult to clear out the Darkseer. He was kind of overextended. You know, he had vision. He knew at least 3 of them were in the middle. And he was all alone in the river, so it was a very easy dive. We do have Undying dropping his tombstone though. As I said, the zombies are very strong against the Templar Assassin Refraction, as well as creeps. So, as well as the slow and supports. Supports have a really difficult time fighting inside the tombstone. They tried to get out, but it looks like with Jakiro's Ice Path, it was a very easy pick off from the supports. Or just the Clockwork. It looks like Clockwork is the only one that died. So none of the supports died. They did a good job of getting out. So we have a Flame Breath on the Templar Assassin. And a very clutch mech from the Darkseer. So as I said, the burning from Liquid Fire, you do see that level of Liquid Fire from the Jakiro. Picks off the Templar Assassin's Refraction very fast. And once you've taken away her Refraction, she has a very difficult time with surviving. And that's a very easy kill for the Spyback from Templar Assassin. So, Jakiro did a very good Ice Path to hold them in place, but as you can see, Cogs is 5 seconds long. He still only has level 1 of it. Ice Path's not even close to 5 seconds. We do have that level 6 Luna now. Well, she's actually level 10, but the Luna ultimate, she is able to come in and pick off a very easy kill on a solo Darkseer. Darkseer eating all those moonbeams since he's by himself. Simply by getting those levels, since they've been fighting mid, it's taken the pressure off bottom lane, allowed her to farm, allowed her to get levels, get back in the game, and as I said, as soon as she has her ultimate, she's able to TP in and get at least some assist, but in this case she was able to find that solo kill, so it was very nice for her. It helps catch her back up. That one kill kind of offsets the death she had earlier, gets her a little bit more experience and a little bit of farm to catch her back up. She does have an Ogre Club, so she is going to go straight for her BKB. And this is to allow her to team fight even more and hopefully catch back up in experience and levels. They are going to need to team fight because she understands that with the Undying in their farm lane, they do have a very aggressive mid game. And Lone Druid, she knows, has been having free farm that she has not been having, so it'll be interesting to look at his bear and see what he has on his bear at this point. Looks like his bear is sitting in base. He does already have his Radiance on his bear. Something very important with this, Lone Druid is going to be able to split push. So the way you split push for Lone Druid himself can farm, and he can sit his bear AFK in a lane, and the Radiance will passively burn down the creeps and push the lane. This is a pretty easy way to do it on Lone Druid, mainly because Lone Druid's bear is a lot harder to see on a minimap than he is. It almost looks like a creep. So if you're not paying close attention, your lane will be pushed to your base before you realize it. And the really important thing with this, Lone Druid can be farming with his team nearby the entire time. And all he has to do is teleport in. So it looks like some very easy kills with the Tombstone and Darkseer wall. A big thing to point out right now with these early team fights, Loda has already farmed up a pipe, Darkseer's already farmed up a mech. Those are the basic team fight components you need for sustainability during and after team fights. So that after your team fights, your health will still be there so you can push the next tower. This indicates that they are going to go straight for push and try and get early towers as fast as possible and probably into the base within the next 10 minutes. That's probably part of the reason for taking this early Roshan on their Lone Druid. We do have Lone Druid sacrificing his bear to kill the Templar Assassin. This is actually pretty big. Lone Druid did lose his bear and is down for the next 70 seconds. But he's not too concerned. He's just going to stick around. He does have the second set of boots, which will be for his bear when his bear returns. He still has his Aegis. So he's not really worried. He's going to stick around with his team, try and pick up some assists at least. He doesn't do that much damage. With the Radiance being on the bear, he only does 92 per auto attack. But he is at least able to jungle some with his Tranquil Boots and pick up a little bit of farm. And if his team fights, if team fights do happen, he is able to go back into ranged mode and at least get some assist gold, if not a last hit on the hero. So I'd expect as soon as we see his bear resummoned to see some aggressive pushing from NoTidehunters. We do have 1700 gold up on the support Shadow Demon, and we have sub tranquils on the Jakiro. As I mentioned in a previous game, Jakiro has the luxury of being able to go Tranquil Boots. A lot of heroes make a sacrifice when they do, such as the Crystal Maiden, because she really needs the HP provided by Power Treads or getting a bracelet. Instead, for Jakiro, he has 1000 HP at level 10 simply by his starting strength and strength gain. So he's able to go Tranquil Boots and not much else. He doesn't really have mana issues, so he doesn't need to pick up boots for... He doesn't have to pick up the mana boots. You might see mana boots picked up on the Shadow Demon, just as a support item for his team. And Shadow Demon's ultimate does burn a good bit more mana. So he actually does have some mana issues when he starts casting his ultimate. For example, right now, if he casts his ultimate on a hero, he would not have enough for both his other skills. And we do have Darkseer picking off the Chin, so seeing a solo Chin and being able to catch him out, that's really strong for the Darkseer. But at this point, I do expect they might wait 10 seconds on the Undying to get back up. But I do expect some pushing to happen now that the bear is back up. We have Tranquil Boots back. He actually still has his boots of speed on him. He should be transferring these over to the bear. So he is going to send the bear back to heal. Well, I guess it's actually a wolf apparently. It says Lichen Wolf. I've always thought it was a spirit bear. This might be a typo actually, guys. I don't think this is a Lichen Wolf. I think it's a spirit bear. But in any case, he is going to heal his bear, summon it back to him. I don't know. I guess he's forgotten he has boots of speed on himself because he hasn't placed those on his bear yet. Or it looks like he might just not have the inventory space for it on his bear.
Illusion.
So we do have the Radiance transferred to him. The boots, no, the Radiance is back on him. He's kept the boots. He's opted to keep the Radiance on his bear. And we will see an Assault Cuirass on the bear. One big reason for getting this early Assault Cuirass is the armor helps him tank towers substantially, as well as a lot of the times with Templar Assassin, you'll see the strong physical damage coming out early game with her meld, the 200 extra bonus damage. That Assault Cuirass helps supports take the hits from Templar Assassin with the +5 bonus armor. She does a lot less damage. So that's one reason you pick up an Assault Cuirass when you have someone like Templar Assassin. Or if you see a Bounty Hunter, he also does some pretty early burst damage, that's physical damage. So picking up Assault Cuirass helps against heroes like that. Also the extra armor on his bear. His bear has a whole lot of HP with no HP items. So getting some early armor on his bear, he now has 51% physical resistance. So this 2700 HP actually takes 5000 physical damage to kill. So here's the early push I was talking about. You do have a pipe and a mech up, so I expect to see the pipe. There's the pipe, and as soon as nukes start going off on anybody, you will see the mechs back up. There's not much they're able to do at this point. They're going to have to watch this Rax go down. We do have a Clockwork Initiation. I don't know that this is going to help them. We do have a Luna ult, but as I said, that pipe helps afford a lot of this damage, and there's the mech helping them live through the Luna ult, and that'll be the Rax. That wasn't a team fight they could actually fight. I think that was a team fight fought more out of frustration because you don't want to just watch the Rax go down, and they have called GG's at this point. So, as I said, NoTidehunter has picked a lineup to zone out the Luna. They did it successfully. Luna was forced to watch, and she missed out on the whole mid-game, which the NoTidehunter took advantage of with all their mid-game strength with the early pipe and mech and Lone Druid's Bear for pushing power. And then they took an early Roshan so that they could easily push the base with no fear. So there's the GG's, and it looks like they're not just pushing straight in to end it. They're going to stick around and talk. These guys need to go ahead and leave so it can give the right result, apparently. Okay, we have one more that needs to leave. But it was a very successful lineup by NoTidehuners. Hopefully Svenhunters can learn about this before their next game. As I said, I was mistaken in thinking this was best of ones. They are single games, but it's round robin. So they'll be playing everyone in their group, and then the group stage will end and people will go into different brackets. So Luna wasn't even able to finish her BKB to participate fully in team fights. As you saw, she got shut down pretty fast by that Shadow Demon in the last team fight, if you were watching closely. And here's Crystal Maiden picking up a Bracer and an Ogre Club to try and stay alive. As I said, Jakiro doesn't have to do that. As you can see, he goes straight for a Ghost Scepter. He's got 1200 HP. Let's look at the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden with an Ogre Club and a Bracer. That's 1600 gold right there. 1100 HP. She has less HP than the Jakiro. And she has more items. Jakiro hasn't even spent his gold on HP items, and he has 1200 HP. And that's just the strength of picking a Jakiro. And there's the end of the game. So that's game 4. NoTidehunter is our winner of game 4 of the defense group stage. So we will hopefully see them again soon, and we will be seeing Svenhunters again as well.